Welcome into iUPrep Cheat Codes, 8th grade Social Studies edition, episode 8. Want to be a state? Have you ever had one of those things where you think, this is terrible, but then there's one good thing about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, this was mine right here. Anybody have any idea what that is? This, friends, is not an Android or an iPhone. This is a Windows phone. Windows Phone came out several years back, and they tried to compete with Android and iPhone, and epic fail. But I bought this phone because, like, I don't know if you can see this on there, but like 41 megapixels. Like, 41 megapixels. Like, that is insanity, ladies and gentlemen. 41 megapixels. This is the best thing to happen to Windows phones. So, like, it's awesome. It's kind of like, too, like, whenever you go to like run a race or something, like, occasionally run half marathon. The only good thing about the race is you get this, like, little medal. Let's see if I can point this. You get a medal at the end. You know, like, sometimes there's just, like, one good thing that happens with something that's otherwise just not any good. In U.S. history, before the Constitution, which last episode we talked about the Federalists and Anti-Federalists that were the Federalists were trying to get the Constitution passed. They succeeded. So we have the Constitution currently today. But before that was the Articles of Confederation, an absolute disaster. No power to the central government, to the federal government. All the power resided with the states, and so really nothing could happen. Except one thing did. A new way, a very specific way for states that wanted to become states to become a state. So want to be a state? That's what the Northwest Ordinance did in the Articles of Confederation. So here's your note card. It's just simple. The Northwest Ordinance was passed during the Articles of Confederation. It was the only good thing that really happened during the Articles of Confederation. And it was steps to admit new states and established how territories that were not yet states would be governed. Because at the time, like, there were massive amounts of land that the United States owned that were not states. They were territories. So with the Northwest Ordinance, the Northwest Territories, as they were called, which is now like the Midwest part of the United States, this was what the Northwest Ordinance pertained to. So that's how we get states. So anyway, let's go to the sample questions. The Northwest Ordinance is considered a historical milestone because it, obviously, go ahead and pause and let's make sure you can get these right. What did it do? It established a method for admitting new states into the Union. That's what it did. A way for new states to come into the Union. It's a big thing there. It's a big thing with the Northwest Ordinance. Northwest Ordinance established guidelines for orderly expansion of the United States by instituting what? Same thing. If you'll notice, there's a repeat there. It's probably something you should know. All right, how did the provisions of the Northwest Ordinance affect U.S. expansion, establishing a process for territories to govern themselves? Absolutely. Once again, after the Revolutionary War, states were eager to expand into newly available territory. The states of New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Virginia argued over competing claims to land west of the Appalachian Mountains. This conflict was addressed by what? Well, it was addressed by the Northwest Ordinance, by which those territories could govern themselves until they could become a state. And then it gave provisions for how they could become states. All right, the blank established a government, outlined the process for admitting a new state to the Union, and guaranteed that newly created states would be equal to the original 13 states. Considered one of the most important legislation acts of the Confederation, that's the Articles of Confederation Congress, the blank also protected civil liberties and outlawed slavery in the new territories. This is from Primary Documents in U.S. History, American History, Library of Congress. So what is this, like, completes this this excerpt? Northwest Ordinance. Northwest Ordinance. That's really it. Pretty simple stuff. So the must know, the Northwest Ordinance established how a state could be admitted to the Union to become a part of the United States. That's it. Thanks a lot.